Thank you for pressing play on the Thursday, April 3 edition of the Maurologue. It's Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does this mean we all get a free pass to call in sick and hit the beach? Not quite, but it's a perfect excuse to make your workday a little more enjoyable. Whether that means cracking a few extra jokes with your colleagues, bringing donuts for the team, or just finding a way to inject a bit of joy into your routine, today's all about mixing business with pleasure. And hey, if your job's already a blast, congrats! You're living the dream. For the rest of us, let's take a page from today's book and find some fun amid the hustle, because if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life, or at least you'll survive today with a smile. Speaking of mixing fun and functionality, one of the key tools behind producing the Maurologue turns 15 today. That's right, back in 2010, Apple did what it does best, changed the game. They released the first ever iPad, and suddenly the world had a new way to browse, watch, read, and work. At first, people weren't sure if it was just a big iPhone or a mini computer. But once the possibilities clicked, it became a cultural phenomenon. Fast forward to today, and the iPad has evolved through countless versions, thinner, faster, and more powerful than ever. But that first model, it was the start of a touchscreen revolution. Now, not all the news today is as upbeat. Yes, this is the podcast of positivity, but we have lost an icon. Val Kilmer has passed away at the age of 65 due to complications from pneumonia. From Iceman in Top Gun to Jim Morrison in The Doors to the Caped Crusader in Batman Forever, Kilmer was fearless in his craft. Even after a tracheostomy that altered his voice, he remained committed to his art, reprising his role as Iceman in Top Gun Maverick in 2022. Kilmer's dedication to his roles was legendary, like when he spent a year immersing himself in rock star culture just to play Morrison. He memorized every lyric that Jim Morrison wrote and sang for The Doors, and in fact, the surviving members of The Doors could not tell the voices apart. They couldn't tell Val Kilmer's singing voice apart from Jim Morrison's. That's talent. The industry remembers him as a rare talent and passionate soul, and his legacy will live on through his unforgettable performances. But life must go on, and so do the legends, like The Simpsons. Yep, just like the Battery Bunny, The Simpsons just keep on going and going and going. The iconic animated series has been renewed through its 40th season, officially extending its reign as the longest-running scripted primetime show in TV history. And here I thought it was a big deal that I got one season hosting a major reality show on CBS, that being Beyond the Edge, during the pandemic. Well, after more than 3 decades of Homer's antics, Marge's patience, Bart's mischief, Lisa's wisdom, and Maggie's silence, it seems Springfield's favorite family isn't slowing down anytime soon. From its humble beginnings as a short on The Tracy Ullman Show to becoming a cultural institution, The Simpsons have survived network changes, shifting tastes, and even predicting the future. It's truly remarkable that after all these years, they're still finding new ways to make us laugh, think, and question reality itself. So here's to more donuts, more dope moments, and more timeless satire, because in a world that keeps changing, at least we know one thing: The Simpsons will always be there to entertain us. And while we're talking entertainment longevity, it looks like Brad Pitt is back in the saddle. Deadline reports that Pitt will reprise his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood character, Cliff Booth, in a new Netflix series. Details are still under wraps, but filming kicks off this summer. Can't wait to see what happens when the stuntman with swagger gets a whole show of his own. In other news, imagine a remedy for loneliness that doesn't come in a bottle, but through shared narratives. Enter Life Story Club's Story RX, a prescription for connection. Healthcare providers are now directing older adults to these virtual gatherings where stories are exchanged and friendships are formed. With over 120 clubs engaging more than 1,200 participants aged 60 and up, the impact is profound. 82% feel less lonely, 95% find support, and 92% experience a true sense of community. As one member beautifully put it, and I quote, "Waiting every week for Friday keeps me alive. I have so many stories to share. I wish there were 2 Fridays in a week." Close quote. It's clear sometimes the best medicine is simply being heard. If that doesn't boost your energy, maybe a few nutrition tweaks will. Feeling sluggish? We'll start with consistency. Skipping meals is like skipping oil changes. Eventually, you'll break down. Mix carbs, fats, and proteins like a balanced playlist, and swap sugary snacks for whole grains and veggies for sustained energy. Don't fear fats, just choose wisely. Avocados and olive oil over greasy fast food. Finally, slow down when you eat. Treat each bite like a favorite song and savor it. Fuel your body like the well-oiled machine it deserves to be. Speaking of running efficiently, turns out horses have a genetic superpower. Scientists discovered that a mutation in the KEAP1 gene helps horses burn oxygen like a turbocharged engine without damaging their muscles. Imagine being able to sprint like Usain Bolt without ever pulling a muscle. This discovery could also help humans by unlocking treatments for neurodegenerative diseases and slowing aging. It's like having a sports car that never overheats. You talk about horsepower. And on that note, here's a little story for you. I dropped a $10 bill yesterday morning and I chased it in the wind for at least a mile. I never caught it, but hey, I had a good run for my money. Today's motivation comes from the legendary Charles Bukowski, known for his raw, unapologetic writing. He often explored themes of resilience and grit. His quote, "What matters most is how well you walk through the fire," captures the essence of facing life's struggles with courage and perseverance. It's not the challenges themselves, but how we endure them that truly defines us. That's it for today's Maurologue. Stay strong, stay kind, hold that door open for someone, don't tailgate in traffic, and keep fighting the good fight.